had to present the report for the BPI. As you know, the BPI is the French bank that funded a number of developments that we did at Kleros. And that report contained a lot of different financial elements that are different from the BPI, from the cooperative things. It was more about how we allocated the work of the different workers to the different tasks that we promised to do in the project. So for those who maybe are newer to the community, the BPI grant, it's 2/3 a grant, 1/3 a loan of low interest rate loan. We got this in, if I'm not wrong, it was like early 2020, like December 2019 or January 2020. That was for launching the second token sale. And this has like 4 main topics. One of them is research. It's meant for funding 2 kinds of research. First, scientific research, which is all of the game theory, cryptoeconomics, all of the, well, William, maybe you can explain better than me what type of research we funded with the BPI grant in the scientific aspects.
Yeah, so I mean, most of the sort of main game theory research that we worked on during the time of the BPI grant is about sort of broad attacks that you can use on a Kleros-like system and how to make them more difficult. So P plus epsilon attacks, which are sort of special kind of bribe. We published an article on that recently in the Journal of Cryptoeconomic Systems. The sort of research now on griefing, broadly our sort of social choice theory inspired work on how to create good voting systems that won't suffer vote splitting and other kind of strategic voting effects when you have, instead of the kinds of intrinsic incentives that people have in sort of traditional elections, you have incentives that come from a Shelling point game that is like Kleros. So a wide variety of these sort of game theory kinds of research. We've, under the terms of the grant, we've also done some research on how Kleros can interact with like scaled versions of Ethereum. If there's anything that like Kleros itself could be used to help like make Ethereum more scalable, some kind of like Oracle style rollup. However, that hasn't wound up going into like a scientific article. Really anything that we can use to make the platform, more secure and more adaptable to the kinds of use cases that are covered under the BPI grant. So kind of bringing Kleros to real world kinds of institutional use cases.
Yeah, so there is this aspect of scientific research. Another aspect within the research tab is legal research. So we have 2 legal, well, one of them is law and economics, and the other one is, it's purely legal research, PhD researchers who are doing their PhD at Paris 2. So funds from the BPI went to fund this PhD like grants. So the second big category is technical development. And this is about how to, basically to implement in code all of the things that we research in the research aspects of the grant, right? So all of that, the big result of that was what you saw at the demo a couple of weeks before, with the new voting systems and the roll-up implementation and all that we have at many times mentioned about the Kleros 2.0. And then another part of that grant is for UX and UI interface development. We already showed you the work with Plinio have done about that. So that's what is covered by the BPI grant. And the thing is that when you get funding from a public institution, then you spend half of the time, building the stuff, and then half of the time like writing what you built. so they can comply with the reporting.
Yeah, I know what it is. I
obligation.
was writing funding applications and proposals for scientific review administrator via Science Vienna, so I know what it is. Another question. We are working for years now towards crypto agnosticism. I mean, what would be your opinion on how strong the influence of Ethereum will be in the future? I mean, it still is, but what does the future hold?
I mean, it's at this point it's speculative, but we have at many moments said that we in the end are agnostic. I mean, the thing is that for now the only chain that really has like a big use seems to be Ethereum, right? Um, so I mean, if some other chain ends up winning, we would like move to another chain, or there could be like multiple chains. Kleros, there are like some complexities into that of course like William can comment on, but we have always said that we want to solve a problem that is bring security to Web3. If Web3 ends up being built on Ethereum, well, that's great. I mean, we love Ethereum, but we will be where we can solve the bigger problems.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I mean, we have discussed with all of the chains that I mean, I'm not going to say specifically with who we have discussed, but you know, all of the big chains you might have in mind, we have had calls with them and discussed Kleros with them. So I mean, be assured that we will be there where more use is for Kleros. I don't know if William, you have something to add to this.
Yeah, I mean, I largely agree. I like the high fees that we see with Ethereum now are partly a reflection of the fact that people are using Ethereum. And to the degree that there are these other L1s that have lower fees, it's because either they're like much less decentralized or because they're not being used as much. And maybe you don't need to be super decentralized. You don't need to have a super decentralized sort of L1 for your use case. So like that might be a legitimate alternative, and like Kleros can solve disputes on in those chains. Like a Kleros approach can certainly be used to solve disputes on other chains. And the sort of blocking point to the degree to which like Kleros isn't currently being used to solve disputes on other chains is that there are security problems if you try to divide the court into too many pieces. If you like have clones of the court on like all these different chains, and you allow people to sort of just like move their PNK back and forth along bridges and stake which like stake on Solana or stake on Ethereum or stake on somewhere else, each of the courts will individually be more vulnerable to 51% attacks than if they were all in the same place.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you don't really want to do that. You want to have everybody in like on a single. You want to have the jurors all in a single chain, and then our vision for how Kleros can be used in a multi-chain world is that you pick whatever chain or roll up or sort of consensus space makes the most sense for Kleros to have its core court, and then decisions can be bridged to other places. So people should be able to have disputes on Solana or wherever that can be raised and then sent across a bridge and wherever Kleros is, and then the decision is sent back. And part of the development around V2 is to be more bridge friendly, specifically because like else the V2 should be on a roll up, and we'll have to at least be able to bridge back to Ethereum. So hopefully this sort of more bridge friendly approach will allow more multi-chain use of Kleros in the future.
So each time someone asks when Kleros on XYZ chain, so this is all of we have to consider like when we analyze chains. It's like technically complex, but so this is the answer. But as I said, we are open to whatever chain ends up being the dominant in the future, or to be many of them. Okay, so for this week, we had the launch of the tag registry. That was, of course, the big news there. Then lots of my time is being used in like lots of internal organization stuff. We are better defining a number of roles that we have because we have been growing and we need to better make a more efficient use of the resources. So we are like doing some internal workshops in order to assess how we can do the work more efficiently, and where everyone has like a clear role and kind of strategic thinking. And this will take a bit more time as well, because this is a number of sessions we are doing, and the result will be like a faster, linear, development, and a better use of resources. Then we have this week, we also, as all weeks, we are developing the Kurt 2.0. I don't know if JB is there, maybe not. No, well, as you know, JB is like the leader of this development. Moving forward as planned, and not much more to mention here. When we think there is enough progress for you to see, we will do another demo session so you can look at the progress that was done. Then we have let me see. On the point of view, we have the Dev Connect conference coming in Amsterdam. Maybe George, you're there, right? You're going to Dev Connect, or Green. Well, maybe someone who is, or Annabelle, you can comment on Dev Connect.
Yeah.
So anyone you can comment on that.
Yeah, for DevConnect, we would like to meet people who would like to work on different ideas that can be in the Kleros ecosystem. That could be ideas that fit for hackathons. For instance, we'll have a bounty. The idea is to meet whenever there is interest to work on this or that idea. There will be JB, there will be George, and Green as well. Shotaro will be there in Amsterdam, Clement as well. So the idea is to meet and start working on these ideas with a specific deadline. And yeah, at the end of the day, with the winner of this bounty, maybe the possibility to integrate the incubator of Kleros. Yeah, that's the main idea for next week.
Yeah, if you like got a good idea for an arbitrable for like a decentralized app, you're welcome. You can come and build it. Also, we have like, I don't know, like 10 different ideas if you aren't too inspired. So yeah, please come.
So there you go. The incubator is still open for applications. Okay, so you can apply. Then you can go to the Connect in Amsterdam. Regarding integrations, we have a number of ongoing conversations with insurance protocols, prediction markets. Cannot get into much detail, but this is also moving forward, and we have a Wang Mian who joined the team last month, and this is moving forward a lot, like backlog we had. About the research, I will let William comment on that.
Yeah, so I, for those of you who've listened to this call before, like over the past few months, I've been thinking a lot about griefing and griefing factors. So I recently gave a talk on this at ETH Dubai, and there's a sort of paper, or at this point, it's almost basically sort of two papers that have resulted from this research that I'm writing up, and I'm still working to try to put them into sort of proper paper form to be submitted to journals and reviewed conferences. So now that I'm back from the conferences, I'm sort of properly, or the sort of ETH Dubai type conferences, I'm spending a lot of time trying to work out the any details to put that together. So,
Good.
you know, for those, if you want more detail and briefing, I can give the spiel again. I mean, you can look at the my talk, but it's basically sort of around like ideas of sabotage. You know, what happens when some kind of attacker is willing to destroy their own money to harm the system.
So there you go. Do watch William's talk at Dubai. So before you had to explain what briefing factors were, like now, William, you can just send the link and people can watch the talk. It's your, and then I think that's it for me for this week. Hope I will be able to send for those who are in the cooperative the report quite soon. Don't want to say a deadline because yeah, then you will say, oh, Federico, you said this and then you didn't make it on time. But I hope that this is a priority for me now, and so we can have the meeting in the coming weeks. Then May 2nd, the incubator starts, so you'll be there in this one for the start of the program. I see Nacho here, so this is like from UBI, one of the incubated companies for the current cohort. So we looking forward to seeing you in Lisbon very soon. And that's it for me, guys, for today. If you have any question, I'm happy to answer.
Hi, I would like to mention that we don't have the links for the POAPs yet, but I took a screenshot and will share with you if you're interested tomorrow.
Okay, well, that's it, guys, then. Have to get ready for my Age of Empires game today. I haven't played for the past 2 weeks, so, well, see you on Telegram. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.